So Smith, Purdy, Self, Creed. On the high side is Blaine Perkins, another one of the teenagers, 6 of them in this race from Bakersfield, California. There's some good ones from Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Kevin Harvick,
there has been
Mears
quite a few.
gang, Rick
Absolutely.
Mears and his family.
You know, Kevin, we watched both trouble. Brandon Grosso and Bobby Gerhart were involved. That's Grosso in the 52. Bobby Gerhart was on the inside of him. He was in the 5 car.
Grosso is one of those 6 teenagers, 18 years old, from New Jersey. And does Tommy Prater also have damage? He does.
Tough break. Thomas Prater had such a good run going in Daytona, battling up in the top 2 or 3 positions. Get relegated back to a 14th place finish, but that was his best race by far. But you see, look how high the front end of the 5 of Bobby Gerhart is. All the damage on Tommy Prater's number 9 right there.
That's a shame for Gerhart because he looked like he was a legitimate contender. It's been a few years since he won a race, but he's won 9 in his career, and he's been quick throughout the day today.
Yeah, it looks like that damage came from maybe coming down off the bank onto the apron. Push the front end up. Let's see if we can see what happens here. There's a 9 of Prater around. There's Grosso, the 52. There's Bobby Gerhart. He's going to turn hard left to avoid Grosso. You see the damage right there. It pushes his front end up when he got down on the apron.
So simply collected after 2 others got involved. So we're under our first caution.
Well, guys, he started way back in 19th, but qualifying in those groups was favorable over some, but not for the Alabaman. Brett Holmes and his team worked really hard on this race car that landed on its side and slid down the backstretch at Daytona. The 6 full-time employees in the shop really put it together for the 23 machine of Brett Holmes. This a tribute paint job to fellow Alabaman Hut Strickland, the old Hills Brothers car, the number 23. They are excited because this young man said, my crew chief and I are working on just a little bit more out of this race car. They didn't really know what they had at the outset because they missed some practice time because of a wiring issue. So this is really proving they made the right call to get this car ready to go.
Problems for Natalie Decker, and we're under caution for the 2nd time. Let's see what happened to the 25 from Venturini.
She's on the inside, makes some contact with the 77 of Joe Graff Jr.
Oh.
Makes pretty significant contact with the outside safer barrier. Looks like they were fighting for space on the inside, Kevin.
They're back running in the 13th, 14th, 15th position. It's pretty hard right side hits for Natalie Decker in the N29 Capital Partners Yamaha Power Products Toyota. To stay green then.
They needed to stay green.
Under green.
And they need for those guys to have to stop again. I don't think we had enough caution laps really, Kevin, to make these guys that pitted on lap 20 have enough fuel to get to the end.
We hear the 15 is going to come this time. He still continues to battle for the lead with Sheldon Creed. The 15 is Michael Self. He drops down, gets down there smoothly.
See,
They're crashing in the back, and it's Brett Holmes, who was trying to get to pit lane possibly, goes around, and there's the caution.
Yeah, the 0-2 of Andy Seiss and the 23 of Brett Holmes, both were trying to get to the left pit road. But, Kevin, there's all sorts of room down there. You don't have to be right next to the racetrack.
Let's watch what happened first to Brett Holmes. Watch for the red car in the back. Oh, and somebody wiggled right in front of him.
Well, that's the 0-2 of Andy Seiss who's coming to pit road. He's on the brakes. You saw Michael Self definitely went by the commitment line on pit road. He had the option, though, of just riding down pit road at pit road speed and rejoining the racetrack if he wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, it was Seiss in that same situation, too. Needed to pit.
But there's so much room down there. Kevin, there are 60 feet
Go to the left
of those cars. Do like Michael Self, he moved way over when he came off of turn 4.
So unfortunate. And what a good day going to waste for the Alabama native. Grew up around here. Brett Holmes into the wall hard again for the 2nd year in a row at Talladega. So back there looking for Michael Self. He's running in the 15th position. That green and white Sinclair car is on the top side right now, trying to make his way back, starting at the tail end of this group. The pole sitter, he's led 5 different times, 21 laps, and how many others that he was side by side for the lead up front. He's got another fast car, though, right behind him. That's to his benefit with Chase Purdy, who had to come in and top off during that last yellow flag.
Ooh, caution.
So we've got a caution again.
That's certainly going to help the teams that pitted on lap number 20.
Is that Andy Seiss?
Looks like Andy Seiss, the 0-2, has made some contact with the outside safer barrier.
And Zane Smith is down there on the bottom side pushing third in line. Don't forget about Michael Self. Green and white car, fourth in line on the bottom side.
Cody Robaugh pulls to the outside. A little bit of help from Joe Graff Jr.
While we watch this, let's get an update on the 15 from Jim.
Michael Self survived a late race accident at Daytona by staying on the bottom line in that number 15 machine. He just reported a lap and a half ago, though, no matter what he's doing, the water temperature continues to rise. So as he's tucked in and drafted his way to this position, that water gauge is now an issue and a concern for the driver in the 15.
And around goes Leilani Munter. Caution with 6 to go.
Leilani was still even with that damage. That veganstrong.com Toyota was still up in this lead draft.
Blaine Perkins is third, Brandon Lynn fourth, Zane Smith fifth, then Sean Corr and Michael Self. Let's watch again. There's Munter from the bottom line going around, and fortunately didn't take anyone else.
Yeah, quite possibly got a little bit of a bump from behind. Running along with it right here. She's going to have to back off, and when she did, she probably got bumped from behind. She ran up on the back bumper of Bo LeMastus and had to back off a little bit.
So another pretty solid race for Leilani Munter is unfortunately going to end early. All right, 1, maybe 2, no more than 3 laps of green flag racing to go to decide the winner from Talladega.
In the throttle body here, don't run out of fuel right here on this start. We've had a lot of caution laps since those guys pitted on lap number 20. If we can just go the scheduled distance, they have a good shot at it.
So this becomes a natural green-white checkered finish. Into the restart zone. 2 laps to go in ARCA from Talladega. Tolman and Creed up front, and Creed hits the line first. Big wide turn for Tolman, who's going to lose a lot of spots, and that's going to impact the top line. So Blaine Perkins is now in second.
Look who's third and fourth, Zane Smith and the 15 of Michael Self. I wonder if that 78 car burped a little bit, being low on fuel when he restarted from the outside.
He's struggling back there on the third line. Tolman has fallen way back. So his only hope, I think, is another caution to reset it. It's Creed. It's Perkins. 1-2. Brandon Lynn also up there. But that's Zane Smith now in third. Michael Self in fourth. As we hit the white flag. 1 to go. 2.66 miles from Talladega.
Who's going to make the move first? Is anyone going to be able to make a move on Sheldon Creed?
Self's got some momentum. And we have a car around. It's Doza into the wall. Caution. And we will go to overtime.
No, we stay green. We stay green. I think we can stay green. That car was well out of the way over in turn 2.
It is, so we will race to the finish. 4 in the mix right now. Creed trying to hold off Perkins.
Oh, trouble!
Now they'll crash hard. The big one at Talladega is on the final lap. Will we stay green or go white? It's green for the moment. Creed, Perkins, and we do go to caution. The 28 crew waiting and hoping that he got to the line before the caution came out, but this was a big one, and the safety personnel needs to be dispatched.
Good to see that winning that down on Chase Purdy's car. Look at all the damage to that 8 car as you see him climb out. That's Bo LeMastus, the 54, nosed into the side of the 8 of Chase Purdy. Hard hits there.
Now that's an unofficial order, so we'll set that in a moment. But here is what happened to Doza going around first with Joe Graff Jr. behind him.
Yeah, they were just tight racing there. I told there was nobody giving any room there. Just a slight contact to the back of Doza, and around he went. There's another view of it right there. You see the gap between the 6 of Josh Williams and the 57. He probably got out of the throttle. He saw Leilani and Munter down on the bottom of the racetrack. Joe got into him just a little bit.
Now here's the heavier hit that brought out the caution. Look at that.
There's that 3-wide racing with no room at all.
So Robaugh took pretty big damage there too. Lemastus is in the 54 Crosley for David Gilliland Racing, and then the Bama Buggies number 8 for Chase Purdy. Let's see who else might have been impacted. Gus Dean right in the middle. Maybe he took a little bit of contact.
It's like Josh Williams got by. He was on the very bottom of the racetrack.
So unfortunately, as is usually the case at a plate track, a lot of destroyed race cars. Well, let's see who we got here. Watching for the pace car to duck down. Sheldon Creed on the bottom side in that white 28. Blaine Perkins, the black 98 car on the top side. Michael Self is right behind him in the green and white car, number 15 in row 2. And Zane Smith has been quick all day.
If that 98 car runs out of gas, it could cause some big problems.
So the bottom line might be the place to go, and they get the early jump. Back to green, 1 to go at Talladega and ARCA, and Creed has the early advantage.
See, the 98 didn't go, out of gas.
Self trying to get around on the top side. He needs some help. Josh Williams there with him. He's in trouble. Zane Smith has momentum. He'll try to duck upside. Core will come with him.
Remember, Jeff Stankin was saying that 41 car, their teammate, is really fast.
Looking 3 wide down the backstretch. Smith, and then Herbst goes around. Big contact taking Josh Williams with him. Caution. Overtime number 2 is coming.
Look at the damage on Sean Core's car. That's 2 races in a row to get to the last lap with that 46 car and ended up wadded up.
Zane Smith is the leader. Herbst had heavy contact. Let's watch again.
See, Herbst moves to the inside of Sheldon Creed. Here comes Joe Graff. Looks like there was contact between the 28 of Creed and the 18 of Herbst, and it turned Herbst right into the path of Sean Core in the 46.
So Creed didn't get going very well.
There goes Riley Herbst down the inside. Creed pulls over to try to block. Looks like Creed caught Riley Herbst in the right rear corner, and it turned him dead right.
So Creed looked like he didn't have anyone directly pushing him as Herbst tried to go to the bottom side, and Core was on his high side. Yeah, just caught his right rear. So the frustration continues for Riley Herbst. Heavy damage.